Good evening everyone. Myself Dr. Renu Goyal from Muzaffarnagar. I'll speak on ultrasound evaluation of the yolk sac. So first of all, the question arises, what is a yolk sac? This is the first structure to be visible within the gestational sac which envelops the developing fetus and the amniotic fluid. In early pregnancy, the yolk sac functions as a source of nourishment for the developing fetus. The yolk sac provides nutrition to the developing embryo until the placenta takes over. That's why it's a good indicator of the health of the pregnancy. Now, something about the embryology of the yolk sac. At the 4th week of embryologic development, the wall of the yolk sac consists of 3 thin layers. The outermost layer is the ectoderm, then mesoderm and the endoderm. From the 5th gestational week onward, 2 compartments are clearly distinguished in the wall of the yolk sac. The mesoderm compartment is formed by the blood vessels and mesenchymal tissue, whereas the endodermal compartment is made up of endodermal epithelium and endodermal vesicles. Both intraembryonic and extraembryonic blood vessels consist of primitive nucleated erythroblast and basophilic erythroblast. In addition, the extracellular matrix component surrounding the vessels within the yolk sac becomes markedly reduced. Then after the 7th week of embryologic development, the signs of regression begin on the wall of the yolk sac. Now something about the general appearance of the yolk sac. It appears as a circular, thick-walled echogenic structure with an anechoic center within the gestational sac, but outside the amniotic membrane. At 5.0 to 5.5 weeks, it can sometimes be seen as 2 parallel lines rather than a discrete circle. It should be seen on transabdominal scanning when the mean sac diameter is 20 mm or at a gestational sac age of 7 weeks, and it is usually endovaginally seen with a mean sac diameter of 8 to 10 mm or 5.5 weeks. Visualization of a yolk sac is useful in distinguishing an intrauterine pregnancy from a pseudogestational sac, a decidual cast cyst, or an embryonic pregnancy, as a yolk sac is only seen in an intrauterine pregnancy. This is the normal vitelline duct. The yolk sac is connected to the embryo by the vitelline duct. The number of the yolk sacs present in a gestational sac can aid in determining the amniosity of the pregnancy. As a general rule, the number of the yolk sacs and the number of amniotic sacs match if the embryos are alive. Thus, there will be 2 embryos, 1 chorionic sac, 1 amniotic sac and 1 yolk sac in a monochorionic monoamniotic pregnancy. Although there is no clearly identified consensus, but most of the authors accept either 5 to 6 as the upper limit for the size of a normal yolk sac in pregnancies with a gestational age from 5th to 10th weeks. A recent study has shown that a yolk sac diameter of greater than 5 mm is associated with an increased risk of spontaneous abortion. However, a few authors have mentioned the existence of a very large yolk sac, approximately 8.1 mm, in a normal live pregnancy. Generally, it has been suggested that an abnormally large yolk sac may indicate a poor obstetric outcome. Therefore, close follow-up with sonography is recommended for these type of pregnancies. A small yolk sac is considered a non-specific feature. According to some publications, a very small yolk sac may be a normal finding during early periods of normal embryologic development. However, a distant study with certain limitations suggests that a yolk sac diameter of 2 mm or less could be associated with failed early pregnancy when assessed at a gestational age of 8 to 12 weeks. The yolk sac size begins to decrease during the late weeks of the first trimester. This process is why gestational age should be taken into account when the size of the yolk sac is assessed. An echogenic yolk sac is an indeterminate finding in first trimester fetal ultrasound. It differs from a calcified yolk sac in that the contents of the yolk sac are echogenic, not just the rim. One study has suggested that this finding is associated with fetal demise, but other reports in the literature suggest that there may not be any association. There is a study which suggests that yolk sac shows a compensatory capacity, being larger when the mothers are smaller. Secondly, these effects were mainly significant in female embryos only. Third, the effects could be traced in later fetal size development, that is, abdominal circumference and effective fetal weight at 24 weeks gestation. Now the conclusion. Assessment of the yolk sac should be a part of complete first trimester sonography. Any abnormality in the sonographic appearance of the yolk sac can predict subsequent embryonic death or abnormalities. Accurate recognition of the normal and abnormal findings related to the yolk sac can be used to anticipate the course of the pregnancy. If abnormal yolk sac is seen, follow-up ultrasonography at 7 to 14 days is suggested to assess the viability of the pregnancy. Thank you.